as with our rule, we're going to start right exactly on 8 o'clock. So as long as that clock is right, we're doing fine. Okay? Good morning, I'm Judy Young-Fire, one of the 4 facilitators for the forum. We welcome you on this morning. I want to make a couple of announcements before we get into our program. One of them I was just informed this morning, the reason we have some mess on the floor, etc., is just yesterday the guys got us set up with the new antenna, so we now have full Wi-Fi in this room. So some of us, I know, will appreciate that. Okay, the bathrooms are still in the process of being remodeled. However, those are over there. If you still want to use the restrooms, there's a set of restrooms in that back door. And so if you need to go back there, that's fine. You can also go out the back doors if you want to leave early or anything. Anything else we need to take care of? Those? Yes?
If they're new to forum and they want to get on our list.
Yes, definitely. If you're new, you haven't been here before, you'd like to be on our email list so that you can each week receive the invitation that tells you what's going to be up at the next session. Please contact myself or Kathy Healers and we'll get you on that email list. We have around, what, 500 on that list now?
About 550.
550. And of course, not everyone shows up every week or we reveal the one. But thank you. Thank you for being here. So this morning's a little bit different than our normal format. You notice we're not going to have PowerPoint presentations and all of that. We're going to have speakers. So we have, technically there are 8 candidates running for Montrose County School District. I'm going to introduce them all at this time, and then once they start to speak, they'll just move from candidate to candidate. So, simply because of the way they're sitting, I'm going to introduce Steve Smith. Steve Smith. How do you like that? He walked in this morning and called me Mrs. Files, and I had to laugh at that. So, Steve Bush, okay, Cortney Loyd, Dawn Schieldt. See, I'm off out there. I was going to have you in order, see, and then you've gone. Okay, Eric Kelley, I can get that one. Courtney Loyd, Sarah Fisherman, the old lady school teacher, Alice Murphy. We taught together for a couple of years. Okay, so these candidates are free to come this morning. Jeff Bachman is unable to be here. He's running unopposed in District A. The candidates were given questions, and I want to read the questions to you so that you'll know what we asked them to speak about. We asked them to speak for up to 6 minutes with an introduction bio of themselves, why they are running, what you believe to be the strengths of the Montrose County School District, what you perceive to be the areas for improvement, and any any final comments that they want to make. That's an open time. They can talk what they want. I will be timing them. I will let you know, by the way, when you're done, you have 2 minutes left, and then 1 minute left. And if you don't want to go the whole 6 minutes, that's totally fine. Okay? Then after they've all spoken, okay, and technically we will close our forum session. Then if you want to ask them individual questions, you can come find them and ask them questions. We just don't want to have it be a time where you're asking one question and expecting all 6 of them to answer. Does that make sense? So it's a little bit different than the usual. Okay, so if we can get organized. We're starting at the top of the list. So Jeff isn't here, so that makes it Alice Murphy.
Okay, and it's the school teacher giving me for school. Okay. All right. And this is on. Okay, I'll try to speak into the mic. I'm Alice Murphy, and I'm running for Montrose County School District, District C. And I'm running because I want to continue supporting teachers and parents and schools and the Olathe Montrose community. I love teaching, I love learning, I loved working with the kids. I loved the people that I worked with at OES and the Montrose County School District personnel. They're kind of like a family to me. I feel a great deal of gratitude to the Montrose County School District for everything that they've given me. I taught for 35 years with the Montrose County School District. I feel just a tremendous amount of gratitude also for the teachers that are in the district that gave my kids a really good education, and they continued on with that education. So a lot of gratitude to the Montrose County School Districts for everything they've done in my life. I am a retired teacher. I've been retired for 8 years. I taught in Montrose County School Districts for 35 years at Olathe Elementary. I taught kindergarten, first, second, third, English language learners. I was a member of our building leadership team, which is a group of teachers from each grade level, and then the resource teacher representative, and then we would disseminate information that we had in smaller groups so that people would be able to talk. The communication was a little better when you have smaller groups to talk to, and then we took that to the building leadership team. I was also a member of the student intervention team. Every week, that again is a representative of intermediate teacher, primary teacher, and then the resource staff. We would have one person from there. And we would talk about kids that maybe needed a little extra help in school, and we tried to get them the resources that they needed to succeed. I was trained for the Step Up to Writing program and became the trainer for our school, so I taught teachers that Step Up to Writing program. Served on several textbook adoption teams. I piloted the CSAP state testing, so that was way back. My class got to be a pilot for that before they implemented that with the school district. Served on committees where we would get the data back from the assessments, and then we would go over those points that maybe our kids needed extra help with, and we could try to come up with building intervention plans and improvement plans. So that's kind of what I did when I was in the school district. I'll start way back. I grew up in a little town in Honeyville, Utah. It's a farming community, so I have that farming background, so that's why I love Montrose County. I went to Utah State University, have a Bachelor of Science in elementary education, and I also got minors in science and math. Later on, when I wanted to teach the English language learners, I went to Fort Lewis, offered ELL, I think it's called the Cultural and Linguistically Diverse Education now. All the terms kind of changed in the years after I've been gone. I'm married to Dennis over there. We've been married for 43 years. We have 2 children. He worked as a hydrologist with the Bureau of Land Management, and now in retirement he's doing woodworking, and he's on the planning commission, and he's all over the place too. I have 2 kids. Ryan got his BA and MA in philosophy at San Francisco State and Fort Lewis College, and then he is currently at Purdue University getting the doctorate degree, hopefully by May, and he figured he better change to English, technical writing, that way he can get a job. And then there is Jennifer. She went to CSU and got a degree in interior design, and she now has her own company in Fort Collins designing these great houses. Both of the kids went to school in Montrose County. They started in Olathe Elementary, went on to Centennial Middle School, and then Columbine Middle School, and then Centennial Junior High School, and then they both graduated from Montrose High School. So they had a great education with this school district, and I'm just happy that they went here because they're able to compete with everybody out there. I mean, he's at Purdue, and he's with the smart kids and doing well. Some of the organizations I belong to, I am in Delta Kappa Gamma, which is a teachers organization that is in Montrose and Delta counties, and we usually try to do fundraising, and we create scholarships. Oh, I'm down to 1 minute. Okay, I'll hurry. I'll move on. I'm a volunteer for CASA. After I retired, I decided I still like working with kids, and so I became a court-appointed special advocate for the 7th Judicial District. They work with foster care kids, and we help them through the court system. And then from there, I kind of kept the kids and moved on to the Partners Mentor Program. Currently, I'm working as a Zumba, body flow, yoga teacher at Gold's Gym and Yoga House. Got to keep busy. I like teaching, so I keep doing that. Strengths of Montrose County School District. We have great students and supportive parents. At least I know that from Olathe Elementary. Olathe is kind of special because it's a community school, and so they have great community support in the schools. The schools were the heart of that community. So that's a plus. The qualified teachers that we have in this school district, they care about the kids. Montrose County School District is focused. I'm done? I'm done. I have so much more. Catch me after. I also have brochures over there. I'm the lady with the yellow signs. So much y'all. That went fast.
6 minutes can be either really long or really short, depending on how you look at it, right? I don't believe Andrew Neal. Oh, thank you. Sure. Which, okay.
Is that okay? Would you want to read it? It's up to you. I am not Andrew, but I am going to represent Andrew this morning. He had a work engagement that he could not get out of this morning. So, hello, my name is Andrew Neal. I am sorry I could not be here due to a work obligation. I want to thank you all for giving us the opportunity to talk, and for Dawn, that's me, for reading this for me. I am a conservative Christian. I am happily married to my beautiful wife, Caitlin. We do not have kids yet. We're waiting to fix the school district. I'm an extremely hard worker and excel at everything I put my mind to. I'm not a politician nor an academic. I'm just a normal man making a living with his hands and determination. I'm running for school board because I'm worried about the future of this community. The future of the community is the children. As a taxpayer, the current curriculum and test scores are of grave concern. The strength of Montrose County School District is the children and their will to learn and their hope for excellence. The areas of improvement start with the CMAS scores and continue through the rest of the curriculum. These kids and teachers need to get back to the basics of reading, writing, arithmetic, and science. We have to get the divisiveness and distractions out of the schools. This amazing community was founded on great Western culture and is mostly conservative. The schools should reflect the majority of the community. Dawn, Cortney, and I believe that God and patriotism are essential to the future of the nation. These kids need to learn how lucky they are to be born in the greatest country of earth has ever known. American exceptionalism should be the basic tenet of our curriculum. The children should be taught the evils of communism as they are applicable to the current powers trying to destroy this nation. The Constitution, the way it was written, gives us our God-given rights and freedoms that children of this community need to learn and enjoy. Individual freedom was given to us by God in our founding documents. This does not end now or nor ever. If you want to mask your child, you are free to do so. If you want to give your child a vaccine, you are free to do so. However, when we are elected, the school board will never be mandated. If they are, when we get there, we will fight every day to reverse that policy. The power belongs to the parents. The children do not belong to the school or the teachers. They belong to you, the parents. No one knows what is best for your child more than you do. We will leave all health decisions to the parents where the power belongs. Dawn, Cortney, and I's goal is to get more involvement from the community. Parents need to be involved in their children's education. We are going to have a bi-monthly town hall to get the community's input and hear their concerns. Back and forth communication is the best way to make the people feel heard. We will represent our Constitution to the best of our abilities, and we can't wait to give the power back to the parents. Thank you for your time. Andrew Neal.
Thank you. And do, even though you're going to recognize her body later. Remember, she was speaking for Andrew at that point. Okay, so we move then on to District E, Sarah Fisher. And I'm sorry, we told them we'd be doing it alphabetically, so it doesn't agree with your ballot that you have.
What order are we going in?
We're supposed to get alphabetical.
Okay, okay. Well, first of all, I'd like to thank you all for being here today and giving us all the opportunity to speak to you. Obviously, it's an honor to have the opportunity to speak to our community anytime we get that chance. It's a good thing to take. So, I'm Sarah Fishering. For some of the people in the room know me, but I don't think you all do. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of background. I'm originally from the UK. That's where this accent's from. So don't be confused. I'm not from El Paso, Texas. I was actually brought up in a small town that's not dissimilar to Montrose, about 75 miles north of London. From London, I moved to Texas, to San Antonio in 2008. So I've been here a while, but not as long as some of you, obviously. From there, I moved to just north of Washington, D.C. in about 2010, I guess. And in 2014, my husband and I moved to Montrose as we decided it would be a better spot to bring up our children. It turns out we were right. We made a very good decision there. I can't be happier that my children get to experience this fantastic community in the same manner that my husband did when he was brought up here and experienced our district schools. I have over a decade of experience in higher education in various roles, including student recruitment, admissions, career preparation, and programming, curricular development, and later in research transition and management. This experience specifically provided me with great insight into what our students need to succeed in the next step after high school. In 2019, I moved to the Montrose County Event Center as the event manager, which I loved a great deal, but I've since moved on to a private business in town. Our family also owns several businesses, including the AT&T store in town. Signal's not my fault. Sorry to anybody who might be experiencing disruption at this time. And also the distillery on West Main. I bring this experience and all of this different perspective to my board work on the Montrose County School Board. In addition, I have 2 children in our district schools. I moved them to our district schools the moment I had the opportunity to do that when they aged into our programs, putting my money where my mouth is. I believe our schools are doing a great job, and I moved my kids into our classrooms the moment I had the first opportunity to do so. In running for a second term on the Montrose County BOE, I'm running for the same reasons I ran the first time. I want to serve our community. I ran for the board in 2017, first and foremost, because I care about our local children. I feel that the ability of our school district to turn out well-rounded, properly prepared individuals who are ready to engage with the next level of training and education should be our top priority. That's the only way we can have a sustainable, healthy community. And those reasons remain the same today. My only promise to you, if I'm re-elected, is to serve without an agenda, and my top priority, as it has been in my first term, will continue to be that in every decision we put our kids first. I've proven over the last 4 years that I'm a collaborative leader who takes the role seriously. With a term under my belt, I also bring experience and understanding of the roles and responsibilities of the BOE. In terms of the strengths of our district, really, that comes down to our people. Every organization, everywhere that I've worked and ever experienced, the strength of the organization comes from its people. We have a fabulous cadre of teachers. We have a fabulous cadre of support staff and district leadership. The board is there to support them and enable them to do their job properly. I will continue to do that if I'm elected for a second term. We've also been extremely careful with our finances, and the district is currently in a good spot. Obviously, there are state level and federal level funding issues, and there always will be in education. We won't be able to solve those in the next 4 years, or probably in the next 16 or 20 or 24 years. Probably not in any of our lifetimes. But the district currently is in a really strong spot financially. We've also adopted several methods for graduation from our high schools, which empower and allow our students to succeed from this level to the next, and prepare them for whatever they want to do, whether that's go into higher education or into the workforce, and every other possible thing they may have planned for the future. In terms of improvement, I do see that we've been making improvements in our communications and transparency, and I look forward to seeing more information available to the public, more data available through our websites, so that people can be empowered to know more about what's going on in our schools and understand the direction of the district. Thank you for your time.
Also in District 8, we have Cortney Loyd.
Hey, good morning, everyone. My name is Cortney Loyd. I am not a politician, and I'm not used to this, so please bear with me. I am a constitutional conservative mama bear. I am a small business owner along with my husband, a wife, obviously, a mom, a grandma, and a longtime member of this community who believes in the potential of our students and the power of family support and for standing up for what is right. I am running alongside with Dawn Schieldt and Andrew Neal as a like-minded slate. We all share in the best interests of the community students, and I am asking for your support and your vote for each one of us. Being a mom and having time invested in many of our children's lives in various classroom settings, my motivation for running for the school board is to advocate for the voices of the students and parents, and also with cooperation with our teachers. With the goal of bettering our school district overall performance. I believe there's always room for improvement. I believe the strengths of Montrose County School District is found in the community of our students. Although they are not all the same, they have found their first sense of community in each other. There are so many great teachers in the district that truly care about teaching students to learn. Those teachers need commended for making school enjoyable and learning fun. They have a role that can prove priceless in these chapters of the students' lives that come into their classrooms. They have the chance to care and inspire the next generation. The AP classes, the clubs, the sport opportunities, the school spirit, the languages offered, the dual enrollment opportunities, the great counselors at the school, these are all also strengths of Montrose School District. I believe areas of improvement can be accomplished by remembering that we have opportunities to demand greatness of ourselves every day. By coming alongside of the students, making sure they are learning, reading, and comprehending early on, and weeding out any curriculum or survey that does not serve our students in a responsible, moral, age-appropriate way. By taking pride in our one nation under God. By teaching the constitutional rights that we share as citizens of the United States of America. By teaching our students to remember it is the content of their character that matters. And that is words of Martin Luther King Jr., I'm sure you all know that. The same goes for all of us though, and I feel like it is very important for us to remember. By always allowing parents to make medical decisions for their own children, and always having respect for one another. My final comments, to me it is a beautiful thing that we do not have to be just alike to agree on our right to freedom, our God-given, inalienable, natural rights. Life, which is the right and duty to preserve our own lives. Liberty, which is the freedom from government control. The right to property, which is personal well-being. or the pursuit of happiness, which is the freedom of opportunity. Our right to medical freedom, because where there is risk, there must be a choice. And the right to choose what is best for ourselves as long as we do not interfere with the liberty of others. We can all strive for the legacy of standing up for truth, living with integrity, and defending the children. We can all do our very best to inspire our children, share with them the wisdom and knowledge that our years have taught us. We can all strive for better than yesterday, every day. Be kind, be respectful, encourage others, act out of love for your brothers and sisters in this great nation, and seek the truth. It is out there. Obviously not on mainstream media, but it is out there. I know I'm not a politician. I am a mama bear. I may be out of my element, but I find encouragement in this biblical promise. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. Joshua 1:9. My promise to my community, if I get elected to serve our school district on the board, is to always do my very best in advocating for all of our students. I will serve with integrity, and I will always bring my strengths to the table, upholding our Constitution and morals with the goal of bettering our school district's overall performance. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Courtney. Okay, District F, Eric Kelley.
Good morning. My name's Eric Kelley. I'm a local business owner. I'm also a father. But one of my most favorite titles is I'm Audra Kelly's husband. She's a very important person to me and in my life. I'm a business owner. I believe that I'm committed to the success of Montrose and the Montrose County School District. I believe it's a massively important part of our society that we educate our children. Why should I be elected to this position? I volunteered a couple of years ago because nobody wanted the position at that point. And I believe I position myself as a person that is responsible, that is diligent, that listens. I come into this position with no agenda. I come in here to learn, and there's an awful lot to learn. I'm in the middle of a facilities committee that's taken a very microscopic look at the facilities that our children go to get their education. And I believe we're nearing the end of that process, so we can present to the community the needs that have been identified in that process. And I think the curve to go through there and to get to that position is some time, and sometimes we don't have time. So I believe that I position myself very well to continue that process and to make sure that the school district is positioned to continue to educate our children in the future. Some of the issues that I see inside the district, that would be one of them right out of the gate, is the facilities. We're running into some capacity issues, as long as aging facilities. Our community's growing, we all know that. So with that, we're gonna have to continue to position our kids with the facility that they're safe, that it functions, and that it will give them a place to go to school and get educated. One of the other issues I see happening is that I think we're somewhat slightly losing some control of our district as a result of state mandates. One of the issues we see now is our mascot. I believe that decision is beyond the state legislators. I think it belongs to us in a community. With that being said, I think I want to put you in a hypothetical situation. Let's say we're all going to build a new high school. And would we name the mascot that we have today with the new school today? That's a question that we should ask ourselves. Another issue I see happening is, which really brings me to an internal conflict I'm having at this position right now, is that I find it a little difficult for me to spend money to get this position as a volunteer. I think it compromises myself. No offense to anybody that is, but I really see it as a flashpoint and a window into me. I don't believe I've never been a fan of the signs and all that goes on in the political campaigns, because we need to make sure, and that's another issue I see facing the district, that this position on a school board is not a political position. The school board should be made up of a diverse reflection of our community. Individuals who represent positions, and don't come to that with an agenda. You got to come into that with the open eyes and open ears, because there's a lot going on inside the district. There's a lot of moving parts. Some of the great things going on in the district. What a resilient bunch of folks. Look at everything that the district's went through just in the last year. But guess what? We still continue to educate children. Kids were moved from buildings to building. We had asbestos issues. We had a crook that was identified that was stealing money from the district. We overcame all those things. Another issue I see facing the district is the divisiveness. I think we got to get it together. It's about our children. It's not about my political opinions and my political ideology. We need to do everything in our power to keep that out of our school board. If it's the last bastion inside the public forum that we keep that out of, I think it's a worthwhile endeavor. I think that the district is got a ton of wonderful people in it that are resilient. The kids are resilient. Look what they go through. They manage it. They work it out. I think they're strong. And I'm willing to be behind them. I'm willing to continue to do everything in my power to make sure that this community is a wonderful community and produces wonderful children that go out into the system out there and be productive and be solid citizens. After all, we're all Americans, right? We're not Americans, we're Americans. We can do it. And I'm sure if we all come together, we collaborate, and we work hard, it'll work. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. Dawn Schieldt.
Good morning. I am Dawn, not Andrew. I am running in District F, and I've lived here in Montrose for 27 years. My husband and I raised our kids here. They were educated here. We love Montrose. I have 5 kids, 4 grandkids, and actually another one due in February. I have chosen to run for school board because I am tired and I feel like we cannot allow the state to mandate or control or throw their authority or overreach on our community anymore. I'm going to jump right into the strengths and weaknesses of our districts at this point. I have worked in kid ministries, organizations, and my job for most of my adult life. So I have done a lot of research and looking into some of these things, but I'd like to start with the strengths. Montrose is a great community. We have freedom of choice here. Our board members have been given freedom of choice here to run the board, have authority over this district, and make decisions on our district's behalf. And I think that is great. I also think that this is a good community of people, teachers, community members, people who volunteer, people who want to be volunteer, people who want to be involved. And I have seen it at every level. So I also think that is a great aspect of our community. I like that we have a variety of options for education in our district for our families. There's homeschooling, charter school, Christian school, public school. When you provide more options for the parents, it creates a higher competition, and the academic success rate and standards are going to automatically increase. So that is a good thing that we already have in place in this district. I would love to see our kids have pride in this community and want to stay here, live here, build their businesses here, and raise their families. I do believe that we can be doing a better job at some things in the community and in our district. One of them, for me, is curriculum. I'm going to bring up the hot topics now. Critical race theory should never be allowed in any classroom in this district. And I'm going to give you a definition of what critical race theory is. Take the title itself, critical race theory, and dissect it. It's taking a theory, not a fact, but a theory, that one race or sex is inherently superior to another race or sex and making it critical for academic classroom discussion. Now, who's deciding which race and sex is essential, and who's deciding what are the rights and the wrongs? Those are answers that need to be decided by individuals and families and parents with their own children and students. When you teach facts with history, you will get the students to have individual thoughts and critical thinking all on their own, and they will be able to come up with those conclusions on their own. We also have the All For You to Sex Education program that was passed by the state of Colorado. I have read that entire curriculum, and I have read the revised version that Don Coram signed, and I'm here to tell you it has no business in any classroom here in Colorado, let alone in Montrose County. But I also believe that it is because it sexualizes the kids, and it teaches, and I'm scanning right now to make sure we don't have any kids, it teaches kids how, in different ways, to have sex and pleasure in a classroom environment, which is not appropriate. You know, our school district has done an awesome job with the health education and sex education that my kids went through and a lot of your kids went through. They were doing it very successfully, and I think we need to allow the school board to continue to make that choice to keep health education and sex education where it was. I have heard the community say they want health and sex education in the classrooms, but there is an appropriate and there is a safe way to do that. I also believe firmly that any class that is teaching or talking about sex in the classroom needs to be an opt-in class for the parents only. We also have got to allow the parents to make the choices over their own children where the districts are not making those decisions for them. It is not constitutional, and where do we end up drawing the lines? There will always be social problems, medical issues, and political agendas going on. We are never all going to agree on that. That is a benefit of our community. We can all have issues and disagreements on things, but we have to come together in the end to make the best choice. Parents have the right to choose. Schools are for teaching basic disciplines, reading, science, math, history, American civics. Giving children the basics and allowing them to excel at those basics is what is going to create the solutions to these problems. And we should have the freedoms to choose that. Cortney, Andrew, and myself are proud to be American. We're proud to be here in Montrose. We believe the Constitution, and not because it is the buzzword of the day, but because we believe in it and we believe it needs to be defended. You have the right to choose schools, vaccines, max, or whether or not and what is being taught in your children's classrooms. We're committed to serve and work hard for you and your families. We do believe the time for change is now, and we believe that the power does need to go back to the parents. Thank you.
Thank you, Dawn. So now, last but not least, Steve Bush, District G. He's running unopposed. He is the incumbent.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Steve Bush, Stephen Bush on your ballots. I'm running to keep my seat in District G. I was appointed to that seat 3.5 years ago when nobody had any interest in running, which we talked about before here. I was set on the board 2 years ago. I stood in front of the forum here with 2 opponents going against me. I was able to keep my seat at that time. And here I am again, trying to keep my seat again, which this time I have no opponents, so it's a lot easier. I was raised here in Montrose. My wife and I are kind of unusual for around here. We both grew up here. Our parents went to Montrose County schools. We even had grandparents go to Montrose County schools. Our kids have gone to these schools. I currently have 2 high schoolers, very opinionated 15-year-old girls. And they often wonder why I volunteer to do this, because they hear about what emails I get and stuff like that. But I do it for them. And what I do reflects on them. Because I have one daughter that's a little bit more shy, but she's actually in student government, and she's actually a class president. So I believe me standing up in front of people has given her the courage to do the same. And that's what it's about for me. It's the children. Strengths of our district is our employees. We have wonderful employees, caring employees. And they're here for the kids. And we have 6,000 students, and unfortunately, a lot of them, school is all they have. This is the best part of their day. It's the only thing they have. This is where they get fed. And it takes these employees a lot of patience to deal with these and caring people to take care of these children when other people don't. And it starts from our superintendent. The board did an excellent job in hiring our new superintendent. She brought great enthusiasm to it. She's got the district fired up again, and we're doing really good with our enthusiasm, our students. But we do have problems with our test scores, and that's a given. And it's not just unique to our district, it's around the country. The last year and a half, all the disruptions we've had in our classrooms, the kids not being able to go to school, and that's where we need to put our focus on. We need to get our students back in our classes, they need to be engaged with our teachers, and we need to start working on getting our test scores up. And that's going to be a big challenge for our district in the next few years, because our children did lose a lot by all this disruption. Finances are always going to be a challenge, and we've worked really hard. In the 3.5 years I've been on the board, we've always worked within our budget. We are going to have a lot of issues with our facilities in the next few years. We're going to have a lot of issues with capacities. We're going to have to do some creative things to make sure that we have places for our students to learn. And we need to have comfortable, safe places for them to learn. So, that's really about what I'm on the board for. I want to make sure that we're doing this for our kids. I want to make sure we're living within our budget. And other than that, I really don't have a big agenda. Our board right now is very strong. We've made some good decisions. They're putting in a lot of hours working on different committees, curriculum committees, finance committees, facilities committees, and they've done a wonderful job of being involved, being active, and bringing that back to the rest of us to decide to make decisions for this. Our board now has very different opinions, but we're able to come together. There's no arguments, there's no fighting between us. We come together for common goals. And that's the way it should be, no matter what our political backgrounds are. We all have opinions, but we all need to respect the opinions and come together and do what we feel is right for the children of this community. So anyway, that's about all I have to say. I was here mostly to listen to all the candidates that I don't know, but I did want to introduce myself since I am running and be in front of everybody. So if you have any questions, feel free to come contact me afterwards. I do appreciate everybody coming out and taking their time to listen to us. I appreciate the candidates for having interest in our school board and putting themselves out there to do this, because it's not easy at all times. And thank the forum for having us come out here and talk. But anyway, thank you.
How about just thanking all of our candidates for being here? And please know that William Woody has videotaped this morning like he does every week, and it'll be on the city website. So if you want to see it again, go on the city website, find the video, you can watch it. You can also, you can tell Grandma in South Carolina, hey, get on and watch me. It's how I did this morning when I presented. Sarah could even send it to the UK, I'm sure. So thank you. Thank you very much for being here. A few notes about next week. Paul Palladino will be here next week to talk about the Montrose Regional Library District and their 5-year plan. Then in 2 weeks, Trustee Gunnins will be here to talk more about the election, and Montrose League of Women Voters will be here to go over the ballot issues. So technically that's it for forum. If you want to come up and ask these candidates questions, I'm sure they're all excited to answer all the questions you might have. Thank you for being here.